All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible weekend. Good morning, Thor. How you doing, my brother?
Oh, good morning, man. I'm doing great. Good morning, Barry Bull Trader family. How's everybody doing out there? YouTube, everybody. How's it going, man? How's your weekend? You spend some time with the fam, or
Oh,
did you just get
abs.
did you just clip shorts all weekend?
No shorts clipping this weekend, man. I was actually, yeah, spent time with the family. I have family from Florida that came up this weekend as well. My sister-in-law's birthday, so a whole lot going on, man. Having a blast, the kids and everybody getting together. So it was an amazing weekend, man. Can't complain.
Nice.
Um, much better than what the banks are dealing with in the overall market. That's for sure. As
Yeah,
you can
for
as we
sure.
can see here, that some of the headlines, over the weekend and today, it's just insane how things are developing here. Quick look at our gappers list. We'll get into that in just a second, but quick look at our gappers list. Again, we got a couple of these smaller regional banks making some noise here. PAC-W and WAAL, and just the swings, right? These guys, 1 second they're popping up and doing well, the next they're gapping down. Today they're up 18. This one and this one 8.9. So you guys see a little bit of action there on both of these. And then where's FSR? What's the First National? I don't see them on here, but oh, they're in the gap down list. They're down 17%, so not having fun today. So we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, about what's going on with the banks there and Credit Suisse and just a whole bunch of stuff. With the big guy coming in this week, Jerome Powell on Wednesday, I believe, right? Wednesday, 2 p.m. So we're all
Yep.
waiting to see what happens there. So a whole lot,
Yeah, bated
whole
breath
lot of
waiting
fun.
for that.
Yeah, a whole lot of fun coming up. So we'll dive into this gapper slips. Looking good on both sides. So you got a couple of things up and down today. And let's get into what the overall market has for us this morning.
So we've got a few things going on kind of this week. It's Monday, so I'm going to kind of talk about a few things that are just kind of interesting me for the week. I don't know if I have anything specific today that's just like really jumping out at me. Obviously, financials still a bit beaten down from everything that's going up, but there is starting to be a little bit of chatter on the street about the reality is as people are starting to look into FRC, what they are starting to see is an incredibly poorly managed portfolio in a bank that used some cycles and some structure with bonds and otherwise that unfortunately in the current climate was a very bad decision for that bank, especially based upon the tech sector, and how the tech sector more or less comprised the majority of that bank. So as tech came back, the bank found itself needing, getting pulled on for its amount, which were also tied up in assets. So I think Street's starting to recognize, man, that's a poorly, run situation. And then you also look at, Credit Suite and all that. I think all of us already know the reputation that particular bank had. So I don't think necessarily like, I think maybe people are starting to go, you know what? Maybe we can find a spot here. I think the big thing that we're going to be waiting out for is FOMC. FOMC is going to be coming up in a couple of days. I would expect that our price action could be a bit turbulent and maybe even boring and balanced, so choppy leading into that as we kind of wait to see. I definitely think the financial sector is going to want to sit back and see a little bit what's going on there. We do have some interesting things coming out. NVIDIA has a conference this week. So I'm going to be watching NVIDIA to see how tech responds to that conference, which I've heard is going to be pretty heavy in the AI talks and concepts and stuff like that. As NVIDIA being a chip performer that's going to be highly utilized in that concept. Also, Nike earnings. People are going to be watching to see, just general retail, how that pans out. They're one of the bigger retailers there. And then also General Mills, which is kind of a durable goods concept, cereals, foods, stuff like that. We want to kind of see how their earnings go. These are all, although they're just companies, they're kind of ways we gauge how the consumer is interacting with the market with some of these ones. So we're gonna be watching these guys and seeing what's going out and seeing what's up. And I'm still continuing to watch the banking sector. At some point, I think these big boys are going to be done taking all the shares we're selling them, and they're going to start rallying this thing. But they may just be waiting for FOMC to do that. That being said, the SPY is starting to actually make some new highs right now as we're getting a little bit of heat on our book. And if you look at the daily on the sector for the SPYs, you can tell we've been dipping, but we've been buying up every time we've dipped. So we could be finding ourselves a nice little interesting spot here. The question is, are we doing it now, or are we going to wait till after FOMC, or on FOMC for that matter? So it should be an interesting day for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting day, interesting week. I mean, we got everything going on for sure here. Spy, like you mentioned, really good move so far. This thing was down quite a bit in the red, now in the green, and looking kind of strong, man. Looks like it wants to keep going. So we'll keep an eye on that and see. Obviously, with that going the way it is, our gap list is going to grow, and just some things are going to come up here above this 2% that we're going to get some movement on, and hopefully some great trading. All right, let's dive into our gappers list this morning, guys. Let's start with what's gapping up today. We got the first two on here, Pack W, and then we also have a WAL, which again both regional banks that have been really volatile the last couple of days. For the most part, I have been kind of staying away from these. I don't want. It's just the risk factor that you're taking when you look at these. It's just out of my comfort zone, right? I don't want my capital being held up for any reason, especially in these smaller banks. The big six, you're not going to
Yeah.
have that with the big six, right? That's not going to happen with Bank of America. We hope not. If it does, we have a
No, yeah, we
bigger
hope not.
problem. Right?
Yeah.
We have a bigger
Well, they're
problem.
finding too a lot of, with these smaller regional banks too. They're finding out some inconsistencies too, where they have offshore depositors who
Yeah.
have placed, and so now the Fed's coming out saying that they're going to support the offshore depositors as well. But I think a lot of local people, and they're saying they're going to support these before they support the local depositors. So I think now you're starting to have these small regional banks. People are starting to say, well, if that's how this is going to be, I'm going to pull my money out of this credit union. I'm going to go stick it in a Bank of America. So, a buddy of mine is kind of a tinfoil hat guy. He's kind of wondering if this is going to end up being a play for the larger banks on the larger time frame. Like if this is some kind of an opportunity where some of these big banks are going to try and squeeze out some of these small banks because, if people are pulling their money, it gives them a chance to do that. So it'll be really interesting to see how this shakes out over the course of the next couple of months.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I don't see the interest though in these bigger banks trying to take these small guys out, right? Because if you look at the type of clients they have, I think like a JP Morgan might not want to deal with that type of business, right? But who knows, man? You never know what's actually taking place until
Yeah.
you peel the rug back and say, okay, this is not as clean as we thought. So who knows, man? We would never know exactly what the deal is here, but we will
Yeah, I
find
do
out.
often wear a tinfoil hat when I say tinfoil hat theory. So just remember that. We
Yeah.
do like to dabble every now and again for some fun.
Yep, yep. All right, guys, and then so we got Pack W and WAL. I'm not gonna add these to my list again. Just very risky stuff, and you got to be careful on news if you're gonna be watching these. Next, we do have Riot here. So Riot right now, Bitcoin's up probably because Riot is up 6%, and the only time we see this moving is when Bitcoin's doing something. They had a good day on Friday, and you also have Mara and Coin here. All doing very well. Coin is one of my favorite ones, so I'll probably add Coin to the list. I'm gonna go ahead remove this. Although I have not been able to take a trade on it. I think out of all of them, this is the best one as far as this goes. But the last couple of days, though, we've been getting a nice little rally here, man, especially on
Mm,
coin. So
absolutely.
I do like that there. I'm going to add that one to the list for now.
Yeah,
Next,
Bitcoin
yeah,
itself, I mean, we talked about how when this thing got a little bit below 20,000, it hit a very interesting level that we had been watching for a while. It bounced right off of it to the penny. It's been on a beautiful run ever since. The only thing I can say about it now is where we're at now is almost a similar area to where it was when it bounced off the bottom before. So we're in an area algorithmically where we'd be expecting a lot of selling to start happening. Because you got to think anyone who bought at near 20,000 is at 28,000 right now. That not bad, not
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so so people are going to lock in some profits up in these areas, and then of course at that point the lower it goes, the lower it can go. Once the selling starts, you never know where it bottoms.
Yeah, yeah. On this list, we also have. So again, I'm going to put coin on there. We'll see if this is going to continue or we're going to get some kind of sell off. But they're looking good this morning. 534,000 up 3%, and their daily has been breaking out nicely out of this area. We spoke about this last week, and we saw that on Friday. Let's see if that can continue. Next, we have USB. And this is a bank as well. It doesn't get great volume, but they're up 5.6 right now. I guess it's a regional bank because the way they're dropping here. So again, these regional banks, just be very careful if you're going to be trading them. TFC seems to be another one as well. Also seems to be a bank, one of
I
those
love
regional
I love
banks.
the articles, by the way.
Yeah,
For instance, even Warren Buffett loses 4 billions on 4 bank stocks. For the record, Warren Buffett hasn't lost any money on the bank stocks because he didn't sell them. So
he's
you
holding.
know, of course he is. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah, of course, yeah.
inflammatory. But even Warren Buffett loses money. I bet Warren Buffett just like tweeted them like, "Can you please take that down? You know I don't lose. You got to sell it to
uh,
lose."
yeah, yeah. On here, guys, we do have Mara. We do have Mara as well. Again, we kind of spoke about this already. I'm going to go with Coin. Key. What is this Key? This is Key Corp. Is this a bank as well? What is this? It's in the financial sector, so I'm going to assume it is. And the way the daily looks very much like it. So,
Yeah,
so we'll
KeyBank.
skip on that one. All right, so I see a bunch of other banking stocks as well. HBAN seems to be another one. So HBAN as well. Yep, financial. Billy is not, and let's see what Billy's up to today. They have 736,000. I do like their volume. Their pre-market action this morning has been very active too, guys. Down to 2130, already up to 2270. So they've been getting a little bit of a bounce. Not sure if it's on their own news or overall market stuff, but they've been somewhat active here. I'm gonna add them to our secondary list at least. We can always come back to that.
Yeah, I haven't seen any. I'm looking now. I haven't seen anything specifically like is in a new
Hmm.
one. I mean, I know analyst wise, it's been a strong buy for a little while.
Yeah, yeah.
How about short float? Let's see where our shares
The
outstanding
short
are at.
flow, I'm showing. What is this here? Oh, actually, I don't have anything on trade ideas for short flow. What does trading terminal or any other
22.75.
source says?
Trading terminal doesn't have the percentage either.
Okay,
Let's
so
see about
did they forget to
Finviz.
report it? We're getting 9 on YouTube, 9%.
9. Okay, that's not that bad.
So not bad. But yeah, some places not having that percentage there. So interesting. Um, so yeah, could be a good possible, guys. I'm gonna put that on here. 7.2 on Finviz. All right, we'll go with that 9.7. It's a again still both pretty low numbers. So nothing that should be concerning there. But I do like their pre-market action today.
Mhm.
It's just, are they going to trade well this morning? When I think of Billy, I think of Baba as well. All these Chinese tickers and
Mhm.
Baba, on the other hand, man, they're down 1.2 here, and they're daily sitting at a very weak area here, support trying to hold, and we've been struggling with this thing, man. This thing ran up pretty nice on. Remember, good news. I forget if it was actual earnings, but they had a very positive headline here that did very well. Everything else was struggling, and they just gave all this back in a matter of what 6 weeks looks like. So, uh,
Yeah, Baba has been, our good friend Baba. He just used to be such a great trader. Now, unfortunately, it has been relegated to the nicey stock that it is, by
mhm,
not giving us too many opportunities. That being
yeah,
said, a rare optimistic moment for me on a ticker. I really like the area we're in as far as short covering and buying goes. We're in a really key area on this. They're also starting to run articles about 3 stocks that will benefit most from China reopening, down 22 to 28. These stocks are possible buys. So it does seem like the news is starting to kind of, throw the word out there a little bit that these stocks may be a good opportunity. But Baba was all the way down to almost $60 only in October. So there's no reason to believe that this is necessarily the bottom on this most recent sell. Although it could be. I mean, it's in a really nice spot for buying for sure. And we got the news, so it'll be interesting to see how it wakes up. But I do miss our old friend Baba. This used to be like basically we could just throw this on a list every day for a little
yeah,
while, and we're able to
yeah,
trade this ticker. And now not so much.
yeah, yep. That is true. Let's take a look at PDD. So some of you guys mentioning that one, and over Ben is telling me also that they had earnings. So PDD with earnings here dropping big, man, down 13% from the highs of 93 all the way to 76 this morning. So not having fun. Looks like the earnings were this morning, right? 6:30 a.m. See the breakout there, and that's when the bottom comes in. So yeah, definitely in play today. Now, as far as you're asking me, Dorito Toe Scalpers asking us about a possible ORB on this trade. It depends, man. I mean, it is very extended. We'll have to see how the opening bell treats this one. There could be opportunity for maybe a rising devil here if we get a if how depending how the setup happens right before the bell. So there could be a couple of plays we could take here. We definitely have the volume, we have the volatility. I'm
This
not
might
a
be what's bothering Baba today.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
Pinduoduo is a is kind of a similar concept. It's a
Hmm.
Chinese selling app where kind of like an Amazon kind of
Oh,
well,
okay.
not quite
Yep,
an
yep.
Amazon, but it's something similar. You can buy all kinds of like eBay, maybe like a
Yeah,
Chinese
yeah,
eBay.
yeah.
So seeing them having some issues, you got to think Alibaba as a retailer. So that's probably why they're seeing. I was trying to look for a reason why Alibaba was under pressure this morning.
Yeah, yeah,
And so, but this would make a lot of sense.
yeah, yeah. This would definitely drag them down a little bit here. I usually don't like PDD, but today they look very good, guys. I like the volume, like the gap down. So a lot going on here. I think this is worth having on our list today.
Spread for an $80 stock is a little aggressive, so just keep
Yeah,
that in
yeah,
mind. We're running at right now 35-cent spread, but I can see gaps in the order book up to 50, 60 cents. So
yeah,
you
yeah.
be a
Gotta be
little
careful.
cautious on risk management for Pinduoduo. At least maybe if it opens, the spread narrows a bit and it trades a little better. But right now, especially pre-market, keep that in mind. She's going to be hard to manage risk on, especially if you toss a market. You could get filled anywhere.
Yeah. So just again, be careful, especially at the market open. Just take a look at what the spread looks like before you jump in on this one, because again, 30 cents for 78. It's that's pretty big. It's a pretty big
Yeah, no, I
spread.
mean
So
that's a
yeah,
really big.
yeah,
If the stock generically only moves, let's say Pinduoduo on an average day normally only moves like $3 or $4 or something like that. You're talking the spread comprises like what 15% of the entire daily's ATR or something. I mean
yeah,
that's very difficult to manage risk when that happens.
yeah,
Today, obviously, an outlier. I mean, it's already moved like what $20 today or $10 today, 15.
yeah, yeah. So on our list, guys, I like that one this morning. Let's take a look. I think we cover everything on our gap up list already. It just continues to grow. I see Foot Locker's on here as well. Foot Locker must have something because we barely see these guys unless
Well,
it's
that's our
any
earnings. I
earnings.
think Foot
Oh,
Locker
that's
was
what it
earnings
is.
today.
Okay, man, this is one of those stocks that I can never make money on. They're just so bad. Yeah, so careful with that. On here we talked about FSR. So FRC is on here, and this is a bank that's been struggling. They're down 70% now. So again, guys, be very careful. We spoke about these regional banks a little bit earlier. FRC being one of the most volatile, I think. Right, so just be careful if you're going to be trading this one this morning or this week until this volatility continues. Already 8.7 million shares traded, and the risk, you're not only just taking a risk on the charts here, you're taking a risk also of it being halted with all the stuff that's happening with these banks. So just be very, very careful. Here's PDD, that's good. XPEC also taking a hit, guys, down 5.4 this morning. Pre-market activity has traded 1.2. Hard to borrow, so no shares for sure. So yeah, XPEC has become a really difficult stock to put on the list lately. With it just being, no shorts no shorts to inventory for us to take it to the downside and just not looking all that great. So I'm gonna skip on that one. ING today they are up down 2.1. They've been bouncing from the lows. Pretty nasty pre-market activity though. So I'm not seeing anything that I really like on here. Is this a bank? Is this a bank? What is this? ING Group. Doesn't look good though. Very spotty. Looks
Ing.
foreign.
Oh
No
man,
idea what
let's
this
see.
is.
Banks. Yeah, bank.
ING Bank. Okay.
Financial institution.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see that over in trading terminal here. Again, it just doesn't look great. It does not look like a great intraday trading ticker. So I am going to, yeah, I'm going to stay away from that one for now. All right, that's what we have. Thor, what do you like this morning on your end?
I like that screen swipe you just used right there.
Ah,
That
you
was
like that?
pretty
Yeah, it's
fancy.
trading terminal right there, right?
Look at
Get us
that. That was stinking
yeah, man.
cool.
Once in
I'm
a while
sorry,
we
I
got
have
to upgrade.
ADHD for those who don't know, and that was definitely a squirrel moment
There
right
you
there.
go.
So I saw that go across. I was like, ooh, that's like fun. All right, so sorry. For me, right now, I've been kind of keeping an eye on the market because the market's been in play, but I don't know if that works too good for the next couple of days because we're going to be leading into FOMC. So I'm kind of expecting the market to be a little indecisive.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
being said, if I am going to play the market, I'm probably going to let it sell off for, good 30 minutes or something, then buy the bottom, or vice versa if it rallies first. We'll have a little fun with it. I agree with what you say on Foot Locker, man. I mean, although it's a stock that it's so alluring to try and trade as a ticker, just because the name alone makes you like
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
want to do it, right? But you just can't, because again, $43 stock with a up to 50 or 60 cent spread right now, just super difficult stock to manage risk on. I do like the volume on PDD, but again, the spreads got me a little nervous.
mm-hmm.
Um, and then my go-to buddy Tesla lately hasn't been doing much.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
my thoughts are I might go the other direction today, and I actually might keep an eye on tech today. Although tech's not really popping up on any of our scanners right now.
mm-hmm.
As far as things go, I do believe that with NVIDIA having their conference starting this week, and it's in a very interesting place, being in a breakout range. If we go short, I think tech offers us an opportunity. If we go long, I think tech offers us an opportunity. So the question just is, do we get any of those opportunities before FOMC? This next couple of, days, especially for our momentum traders, are likely to be a slightly challenging couple of days, because, you just have to know that, I don't know why we hang on the FOMC word like we do, but we do.
Yeah. So that's what
So
we do. Yeah,
all the news algos are all sitting back, just pointed in that direction, just waiting on bated breath for that to go. So, but yeah, so I'm actually I'm going to keep looking at maybe an NVIDIA, an AMD, something, Microsoft, something like one of those, maybe that I can just get a nice trend play on today. And then I'm going to wait. I'll probably get aggressive on Wednesday once the market gets some volume and these meeting minutes come in and we pick a direction one way or the other.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up over on YouTube if you're watching. We really appreciate it. That's help the channel. Help us get to 200. We're sitting at 70. Like 200 would be amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
and everybody in the main chat room, if y'all don't mind, I know it's a little bit of a hassle, but we're trying to trend the channel out a little bit. So if you've got 2 seconds extra, if you don't mind popping the tube over, going over there and slamming the like button for me, it really helps us out, and it helps us generate attention we need. That helps us keep things in here good. So if y'all, I know it's a little bit of a bore, but if you just have 2 seconds, you can really help out the pre-market show and help it trend out a little bit better. Thank you.
yeah, appreciate that. All right, guys, let's see what you guys have on both ends. Let's start with on Meta. See a couple of you guys throwing that one out there. So Meta here, guys. Let's take a look. And some of these tech companies, store, by the way, you were talking about this. They've been on a tear, man. The last week
Mm-hmm.
especially, they've been crushing. If you look at Meta here, let's look at it. We got a little
God,
bit of
look at
time.
AMD. Thing's
Yeah, we're gonna look at
gross. I
AMD
mean,
next. Yep, yeah. I mean, look at AMD's weekly. Look at last week. It's just massive pop we got there. Same thing with Meta. Meta did well on the weekly. Also not as good as the semis, right? Nvidia and both AMD just straight crushing it. Look at Nvidia
crushing.
for the beginning of the year. It's been all green here. It's just real, real nice. The stock was trading at 144, now well above $100 from those lows at the beginning of
Yeah,
the
I
year.
mean,
So
what a buy this
man,
was at
jeez,
like
yeah,
one
yeah.
at 125 or 130. What a buy this would have been.
Yeah. Now, Apple has not been Apple. Apple has been, man,
Mm-mm.
very garbage-like, which is not typical Apple type stuff. But
Notice when I
even
gave my list of tech stocks I was going to watch, Apple did not make it in
did
there.
not make the cut. They did have a great week though, but before that, they've been, and this great week based on the start and the end, but the guts here are just horrible. They're just not trading well intraday wise. So we'll see. I think once we get away from this 150 area that Apple tends to struggle with, maybe we get back into some clean trading. It's just, I don't know, something weird about Apple in this 150. It's a problem.
Yeah.
All right, so
Well, with all these other tech stocks having such big aggressive moves, why pick the one that's been chopping a range for 2 weeks?
yeah, exactly.
Maybe it breaks out, but
Yeah.
probably not.
I'm gonna watch Meta as a passo for now. I might move this up if I don't find nothing better to look at. I do like Nvidia and AMD a little bit better today, especially Nvidia. I mean, this thing has been really pushing, and like you said, they got that event coming up, so that can possibly do something for us here. But AMD will be a close possible as well, alongside Meta. We also mentioned Microsoft, and I see a couple of you guys throwing that out there. especially our buddy here, Lori. So yeah, let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft this morning, man, also a great run. Not doing a whole lot right now, but a lot of these are pretty quiet at the moment. Again, I can add this as well. I'm gonna put them as a possible. I'll see which one of these Meta, AMD, Microsoft is going to be my second type tech stock to look at. I think one of these would be good. I'll make that decision a little bit closer to the market open. Another one I see on here was what I saw earlier. I believe, was it who mentioned them? Oh, Dave from Connecticut. You mentioned JP Morgan. So the banks. Let's take a look at JP Morgan. Yeah, Thor, you talked about this earlier about these banks eventually rallying depending how the news comes out. JP Morgan is one of the ones that can trade very, very well out of the
Mm-hmm.
group. Bank of America, West Fargo, all of these, especially I call them, well, not I call them, they call them the top six, right? You got JP Morgan, Bank of America, West Fargo, even Goldman Sachs, although Goldman Sachs can be a little tough to trade at times. Um, it's not loading for me now. There it goes. It could be a little bit tougher to trade as far as value. I think I like JP Morgan too. I think I'm gonna go with you, David, with JP Morgan this morning, and I'll look out for West Fargo, Citigroup, those guys, and see what comes out of that camp there when it comes to banking. What I'm not gonna look at, as I mentioned before, is this FRC stuff, these smaller regional banks. It's just there's too much risk on there for us this
Mm-hmm.
morning. So, all right, what else, guys? What else are we missing here? We got a couple of minutes to look at something else before we hop over to community events and announcements. Anything else out there you see, Thor, that you like or want to take a look at?
No, I mean, I think we're hitting it pretty good. I mean, I think you're spot on one of those. We've had we're a couple of the tickers we're getting in here, ones we've hit already. I don't think there's any major just glaring standouts right now, but I think we've got a lot of good ideas. The one thing I'm noticing on the SPY right now, as we just ran right out to the edge of our range, tapped it, set our pre-market high right around 39.65 on our futures, and then we turned. But we're actually building a nice order book to the top side right now. So if we can open a little bit higher, it'll open us in a hammer right now off of value, and that could actually initiate a little bit of a squeeze today. So that would be nice to have a
Yeah.
little bit of a squeeze today, but we need to wait. But right now, it looks like we're kind of posturing that way. So if that's the case, I might actually be playing the market after all. We could do a little bit of a squeeze into FOMC, especially if, now that I'm thinking about it, if depending on how people are judging the potential news, we have had bears have quite a good move from, the highs of like 4,200. And we've been really buying up with some serious bottoming tails off of like, 38.50 to 30. Like if you're looking at SPY on daily, doesn't look as good at SPY on daily, but if you looked at like a one of the futures we're looking at, you can kind of see how the bottoming tails look very, very aggressive over the past few days. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do like the way this is setting up for today. I just hope that we're not stuck in chow for the next 2 days, right?
Probably will
While we
be,
wait for
but hopefully not.
wait for Jerome, but hopefully, it's going to require a little bit of patience. Maybe step off the gas a little bit, and that's what makes good traders, guys. You got to be able to understand what type of market you're in. And this week is going to be determined by the FOMC, so a lot of people are going to probably step off the gas until they have a clear direction of what's going to happen in that announcement. So with that said, guys, let's head over to our community events and announcements. Speaking of events, and let's see what we got coming up for the next this week actually.
All right. Hello, everybody. We have the pre-market show here. Your co-hosts for today are Carlos and Thor. As you can see with the little Twitter action we got here, you can follow my man Carlos at CarlosBBT, and you can follow me at, oh, that's not me at all. That's Peter at BBT Peter, who's normally in this chair, but for now it's me. I'm at Thor Young. It's just me. So every Monday here, new to the community, you can go to our new members onboarding and technology. Technically, you don't got to be a new member. You can still come by and get stuff worked on anytime you want to go through things. It's totally cool. My man Carlos runs this, platform configurations, brokerage questions, anything you got. My man's got you covered. Come by if there's any questions you need. It's always a good opportunity. Tomorrow we have Strategy Tuesday. I'm really looking forward to this one. The man, the myth, the GOAT, Dr. Andrew Aziz, is going to be doing a presentation on trade management part 2, defining stop loss levels and how to avoid averaging down. I haven't actually seen him present on this topic before, so I'm really excited to see some of his fresh material and how he's defining things. I think it's going to be super helpful, especially for our fellow momentum traders in there. So I think this is going to be absolutely great. On Wednesday, we focus more on psychology. So we have one of my favorite presenters, Dr. Rand Howe, coming in. Your hidden beliefs about money sabotaging your trading mindset. I really think this is going to be a really important topic for a lot of our day traders out there. I think a lot of our day traders, we kind of come from more of a, let's just call it a humble beginning. And sometimes our attachments to the good old greenback can get in the way of us being able to really succeed and prosper the way we need to. And hopefully, Dr. Howell here can help us out with that. We have mentorship on Thursdays. So we're going to be looking at mentorship with John. This starts at 11. John is a very accomplished trader, mentor and coach with PCT. And he comes by BBT to share his knowledge. I'm focusing specifically in certain breaking patterns that work really, really well. Always come by and check that out. He's in at 11. And then at 1 o'clock, you can hang out with me. We do the same. I also do an evening mentoring session every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. A little low key, a little bit less pressure since the market's not open. We can hang back and chat about all things trading. Today's pre-market show has been brought to you by TradingTerminal.com. I like to call Trading Terminal the trader's work belt, tool belt. Anything you could pretty much need is right here, from scanners to trading simulators, heat maps, insider information, retail flow, what's Wall Street bets. We're checking. We're scanning memes. They're looking for everything on here. Research, fundamentals. Man, it's got everything. Oh yeah, on top of that, it has a free trading simulator as well. So if you go there and you're looking to get your practice on with your trading, before you commit to a broker, before you commit to data fees and all of that stuff, you can get that on there and all of that. And you can always sneak by and listen to Benzinga Squawk, all the other things that are coming through there. And as right now, it's super expensive at free. So you may want to check it by. Go ahead and get signed up, get your information in there, and get going while that's still a thing. All right. If you've had a good time with us this morning, we hope you have. We'd love you to come by and check out our community. We think it's the best. We'd like to show you why. If you come by, we are, for a limited time only, running a free come by and check us out situation. So for 1 week, you can come by. You can get into some of our courses. You can get into the live onboarding session with my man, Carlos. You can come check out the chat room. Once we win you over, which we will, you can then sign up. We've got 3 different tiers for this, basically basic, elite, and then annual. Elite annual being the best deal. Obviously, you save 50% off and you get all the goodies.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Thor. All right, guys, let's get into it. So right now, our list looking okay. Not a blockbuster list, but I think it can turn to be something nice here as the gappers list continues to get even bigger here as things starts to shake around here. So SPY moving back down to the previous day close at the moment. We'll see if that can continue. Already this morning, though, you had a really big move, as we've been mentioning here, from 385 all the way to 392 and into the green. So it's down quite a bit here. Right now, we have Coin, PDD, NVIDIA. Wow, look at PDD here, NVIDIA, and we also have JP Morgan. We'll do levels for this stuff here, and then we'll take some more questions. We can look at anything else you guys might have. And Thor, if you see something you want to jump in and cut me off, please do so, man. Do not hesitate.
Will do.
Okay, let's get some levels done here, guys. So let's start with Coin. It is up 2.7. High of the pre-market right now, 79. So we will slam a level there. Then towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market over at 76.48. So we will slam another level there as well. Towards the bottom, all the way down here. You had a beautiful breakout on Friday. Not sure who took advantage of this, but look at this nice breakout above the highs and the lows of Friday and Thursday. So that was nice there, and you got a nice continuation. Now, if we get below the previous day close, we might be looking at an area here around 72.13. Again, no specific date really hitting that number, but you got some lows here, you got some openings, some closings. So this could be an interesting area right around here. That's 72.13. Again, not really a set number, more of an area. We'll see how that's going to play out if we do decide to show some weakness and go into the red. Towards the top, you do have a very clear level, 81.44, and obviously all the way up here, 85.53. This move, it's not too far-fetched given how strong we were on Friday. If that can continue, already we're up 2.7 on this one, so we'll see where that goes. Here's PDD. PDD, beautiful drop today, guys, on earnings. That came out at 6:30 our time. 67 is the low of the pre-market. Towards the top, let's start there first. You got a couple of really good levels here. Starting off with obviously 84.59. Up here, you do have another one as well around 86.90. And then towards the bottom here, you got some more support happening around 82.96, right? So you got a lot happening there on this daily as well. Actually, this could be a little bit lower. This should be this spike over here, 81.74. I mean, this is going to be more important than this one here. You can have both, but if I were to have less levels, this is the one I would like to have because you had the nice support happening there and the change in direction of that 81.74. And even in pre-market, I just noticed that pre-market, you see a little bit of, some action, some flirting happening with that 81.74. That could be the reason for that. All right, 76.72. Anything below that, let's take a look here. Oh, you can see also, if you come more to the left in December, you can see the levels that we put on here. You can see how well these things are, showing up on this daily also, right? 81.74. We did this without looking this far out, but you can also see 84.59. Also a great area of support there as well. So again, these levels go back quite a bit. It's the reason why in the pre-market you're seeing some reaction to that. Now, if we were to lose 76.72, which again might not be a possibility because usually when you have such a big drop like this might be the entire move towards the downside. We've seen that plenty of time, right? If we start seeing some strength here, this might be the low that we might not get to. Now, if this thing is really going to be weak and we're going to drop lower than this percentage here, then that could be a really nice breakout below the 76.72. We'll see if we head back down there, but if we were to go down there, 73.81 could be another area that we get into. But again, more than that is probably likely not going to happen. That's a big drop already on PDD. So here we look at NVIDIA now. NVIDIA, we're pretty much flat at the moment. Like many things are, right? We had the SPY start really low today, gap down, and then kind of made its way up to the previous day close. And these tech companies kind of follow that overall market move there. Low of the pre-market, 253.81. We had a monster move on Friday, and we haven't been up here in quite some time, guys. I mean, we're looking at 52-week high, maybe. Let's see, maybe not quite, just barely. What is it? It's the 17th today, the 20th. Last time we heard, yeah, no, maybe not quite. Very, very close. Very, very close. But above that, we do have some levels here. 273.02 is a good one, and then we have another good one up here, 281. But you almost could treat this like a 52-week high. That is how close we are to this thing. So we'll see if we can get going towards the top there. Then towards the bottom, actually, I need one towards the bottom here because we had a monster day Friday. Let's go back here and get something towards the bottom. If we were to see, yeah, good level here at 240. 247. And what else we have? We have another, it's a minor level, 252, not a big level, but we'll put that on there. Don't put out a whole lot of weight on that one, but there is a day that's bouncing off of that. So we got some levels towards the bottom before we get to our levels down here from last week. Another level we're going to have is 242.95. So again, tons of stuff happening for NVIDIA. Good day on Friday. Let's see if that strength can continue. Even if we get some weakness on it, we have a good risk to reward situation given how extended we are on the daily. Now here's JP Morgan. It's probably the only bank I'm going to look at today. I do have West Fargo, and you can actually look at Bank of America too. It's another good one. They do got some good volume, also 1.9. But JP Morgan's be the one I'm going to look at. 123.37 is the low of the pre-market. The high of the pre-market sitting at a 126.90. So we will slam a level there, and I think towards the top, you're pretty much set, guys. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Doing a pretty good job there. Do not need to add anything else. And if we get below the low of the pre-market, we are looking at over here, October, September, maybe into November. The next level I have, next big level really is going to be 120. You do have a little bit of action happening around 122.02. We'll mark that down as well, but the big level you can see clearly, 120 is a lot of activity happening there, a lot of resistance, a little bit of support happening on that 120.15. All right, that's our levels for today, guys. when it comes to JP Morgan, Nvidia, PDD, and Coin. I have Coin here as well, dropping a little bit. We'll see if that's going to be a good one for today. Um, cool. That is what we have, guys. Our secondary list, we have Billy, we have Meta, we have AMD, Microsoft, West Fargo, and we also have Bank of America on deck also. One more thing I want to announce before we forget here, guys. If you checked, haven't taken a look at the options chat room, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have Jared and Megan live in the options chat room. So if you're interested in that, definitely take advantage of that. Those guys do an amazing job. They also got a couple of courses they're put together already in the education center, so you can dive into that as well. Thor, I think all we need is just a book from Jared and Megan. Maybe they could co-host a book. Are they working on that? I would not be surprised if they are.
I mean, if they're not, they should be. But I mean,
Yeah.
because I wouldn't mind learning, but I don't think I'm smart enough for options. But they are, thank goodness, and they're doing an
Sit.
options room. And I popped in there, I've snooped in there a couple of times, and
Yep.
the total ambiance in there is awesome. Like everyone in there is having a real good time. Lots of good knowledge being passed around.
Yep.
So I mean, they look happy, and not just in the pictures. I mean, they're actually having a good time
They are actually
doing
happy in
it.
person
So.
too. Yeah.
I mean, I do look pretty happy right there, but I mean, they're like that all the time. It's actually kind of maybe a little even annoying, actually. They're so happy all the time. Oh, wait,
It's good
I thought I
vibes.
was
Good
muted for
vibes.
a second. My bad. So anyway, I just thought they look, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you
Definitely.
guys should
Definitely
definitely
check
check
them
it
out.
out. The options room is awesome. And BBT always growing and always following the needs of our community. There was a big um, request for an options room, and Jared and Megan were willing to step up and take the challenge. So kudos on them, and really cool thing. Some news coming out, by the way, on
Yeah.
UBS. Looks like they're going to be taking on. I just saw some confirmation on it. Some Cody's pointed out too that there's talks are going to be acquiring Credit Suisse. So things
Yeah.
could be
Yeah.
get a little bit interesting. That might bring a little bit more volume into them.
Yeah. I forgot about that. I heard that this morning as well before we got on the show, and then man, we'll see how this plays out. It's so
Does
funny.
that, I
So
mean, straight up,
yeah.
does that help your balance sheet? I mean, like, I don't know. Anyway, I'll just leave that be. I don't know. What do we
we,
even do?
we'll have to see. Here it is, 1895 is the high of the pre-market right now. Let's see if we can break out of that. And 1547 is the low, right? So they dropped big and they recover quite a bit from here. It's so funny. So they were blaming the issue of Credit Suisse into the U.S. bank that collapsed last week, and people are saying it had nothing to do with that. These guys had problems way before then,
Yeah.
and just happened to timing, right? But we'll see. Looks interesting now,
Well, yeah, I
guys.
mean, there were a lot of financial catalysts, inflation being one of the principal ones, especially with FRC that ended up causing
Yeah,
them. They had a lot of, things tied up in bonds, and then people wanted their money back, and they had to start selling things they expected to make more interest on at a lower rate. And
that's
well, that
it.
didn't work out too good.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but it was a bad decision on their behalf. So,
And that
not
and that
good.
is showing here. Absolutely. So USBC, USBS also looking interesting as well for today. We'll just be careful with this, guys. This can move quite a bit this morning, as you're seeing so far. The low of this is 15.47. We're up almost at $19 here. All right, let's take a look at our moderators are watching this morning. I have only Andrews today. All right, we need some more moderators to throw in their list in there
I'm coming. I'm
so we
coming.
could take a look. In the meantime, guys, have an amazing trading day over on YouTube. What are you guys looking at this morning? So I see some Microsoft. What else? Anything else you guys want me to look at before we hop off here? JD. I see someone mentioning JD. Let's take a look at JD here. I think PDD is the play today. So JD has some volume, but I think PDD normally not on our list. But I think these are the guys that have the hot hand this morning. That's a great drop. 3.4 million shares traded right now. I mean, I think that's the one you want to keep an eye on for today. So let's
Mind
go
the
ahead and
spread.
bring. Yeah, exactly. Mind the spread and make sure the spread's looking tight. Is looking okay so far, but I see it go 20, still 30 cents at time store, like you mentioned earlier, which is not
I mean,
great.
we might get ourselves a Brian Pesum style like lead balloon. We're kind of looking a little
Yeah.
strong. We're above VWAP right now. So, but our order book otherwise is actually quite weak. But we've got orders up near like 84. which is near
Yeah.
our floor pivots. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see us have a squeeze at the open, kind of make it look a little strong, and then as soon as the bulls come in, tank it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that'd be a good old classic, lead balloon trade for our Brian Pesum there. Gets away, looks real strong, and then turns over and runs the other direction.
Yeah. I'll be surprised if it goes back to test some of those lows that we have there, right? So we'll have to see. All right, so Andrew, this morning we're looking at UBS, PDD, XPEF, AMD, NVIDIA, TNA, and TQQ. Thor, you're looking at the SPY and also Microsoft, Bank of America, NVIDIA, and AMD. Susan will be looking at NVIDIA. JP Morgan is still looking to see what's out there that she can add to her list. So that's what we have there so far. Yeah, setting up to be a really good morning, guys. Let's just hope it's not too choppy as we get into Wednesday's action. I mean, that is when the real fun will begin. So stay tuned and just again, be patient with the process here. Wait for your setup. We might not get in the first 15 minutes today. We'll see. But just be patient with the way things work out here. Guys, stay safe. Vincent, before we leave, Vincent is asking, no Tesla today? No, man, Tesla. Look at Tesla. It's been
Our good buddy.
it's been blah. I mean,
So sad.
is it worth being a possible? Yes. Not even Andrew has Tesla on his list.
It hurts us as much as it hurts you. I promise.
Yeah,
We want to put Tesla there.
we'll put it as a possible
And
just
Tesla
for
wants us to put it there.
yeah.
We just,
It just shows you how quickly we can get rid of something and just forget about
Tesla
it
is
if it's
so
not treating us
yesterday.
well. Yeah. So we'll add it here for
Gary.
sympathy for all the good trades that it gave us in the last month, or even not last 6 months. We'll add it here for sympathy, just to remember how good it's been. But man, it has not been all that fun lately.
We
had
should
better
put
stuff.
together like a montage of the good times with Tesla. You could just have it going
Yeah,
by right now
yeah.
with some like sad music,
I
the same
agree.
music they play with like the little kittens that run by,
And
that music.
we'll let you go here, but before we let you go, make sure you hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We do appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. We should have a Hall of Fame for tickers, right? And in that Hall of Fame, Tesla's going in there, right? We should have Tesla. We should have AMD, Neo, stuff that we traded for more than a couple of months.
The
They can
good
go
the
in the
good
Hall of
buddy
Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, let's build a
The
Hall of Fame
usual
wall.
suspects Hall of Fame.
Exactly, and then we'll build an RP wall on top of that for those that are never coming back. So take care, guys. Stay
Neo.
safe. We will see you. We will see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. engineering with pre-market prep, and 8 a.m. in the chat room for engineering the markets. Have a great trading day.
See you, people.